welcome back to another tutorial by NovaPans Handpans. Today we're going to be starting a new, somewhat miniature series called Riffs. Right there. Handpan playing is all about improvising, making things up, but even the best handpan players have some kind of foundation. And a lot of this is based on the riffs they know, or basically the muscle memory of their hands, their muscles, their fingers, their arms. You don't necessarily have to know riffs from heart. You can know the patterns, and then you can incorporate those into improvising, making your own riffs. For example, whenever you see someone improvising up the scale, something like they could be playing the hang massive riff. Very simple. If you can get that with your right hand, then you can add anything onto your left hand to basically recreate your own hang massive once again song. Anyway, that's my point. You don't have to learn the riffs or the songs per se. You can just learn the patterns behind them all. So you can check out, by the way, we have covered how to do that riff of hang massive in one of the earlier series. I believe it was around maybe lesson 5, 4 or 5. You can check that out. Today what I think we'll teach you is a chord sequence, which you can call a riff, and the way that goes, this particular sequence, let me reposition this stand first of all, is you play the first and the second note with one hand, and you play the first and the third note with the same hand, and then you go on to the first and fourth note and you play that as well with the same hand. So the sequence should be something like, right? And after you play those first three, you actually go back to the second one. Now, obviously it's awkward to play that third note. You kind of have to reach out your arm and have this kind of chicken wing, we call it, angle. If you're not comfortable doing that, especially since you have to do it quite quickly when you speed up, you can replace that with both hands. But what that means is you have to program your brain, your mind, to bring in the left hand all of a sudden to what should just be a solely a right hand riff or chord progression, sorry. Okay, and you repeat 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're counting this imaginary, well it's there, a half beat between each note. So you have to imagine a click in your head, something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and repeat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Don't worry about the left hand, just practice your right hand. Now, since this is a simplified handpan notation tutorial, we are going to notate this. So bear with us. This will help you in terms of practicing later. But what we're doing here is clef, not the most pretty clef, but a clef nonetheless. We're playing the ding on the second note, which we know, and we'll assume each one is 2 beats long, so they're middens. Ding, second note, right, like that. And then you go ding, third note. The ding's the same, it's always down there. You can see how the second note, which you should be playing with your thumb, is changing. Ding second, ding third, new bar, ding fourth, and then again you go back down to ding 3. These are all 2 beats long, so you're playing 2 bars. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should the 1 and 2s be close together, likewise the 3 and 4s? No, they should be equally spread, but I'm just trying to make a point of how they are split into their separate chords there. So if the rhythm was this, the beats per minute, BPM, tempo, speed, it's a little faster than 60 beats per minute, because you know that's more than 1 beat per second. We might be on 100 there. It's a good tempo, 100 beats BPM. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. No chicken wing there. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just practice that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you don't have to play a NovaPans Handpans teacher click like I am on repeat. Just download a free metronome app such as Soundbrenner, which is a friend of ours. It's a great free metronome app, and you can change that to 100 beats per minute. Have that clicking in the background, because you need to learn to solidify your timing, and don't speed up or slow down like a lot of people. That's actually the core, one of the most core features or skills of a handpan player, or a percussionist in general, which is being able to keep your time. Remember to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, although we're actually playing only 3 different chords, we're playing the second one twice, right? Treat this as 4 separate chords, 4 separate notes. And just remember, you've got to play all of them to fulfill the sequence. If you can't do that one hand, or your hand's not big enough, replace the third chord like that. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But first you need to really solidify that foundation, which is this riff here, the 4 chords, okay? So if you're keeping those chords going and you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the back of your head, you should be able to play quarter beat notes consistently, something like, if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Now try to practice this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a... Now you're playing semiquavers now, which is 4 notes every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can't do it that fast, slow it down. You know, you don't want 100 beats per minute. You can do 60 beats per minute, 1 beat per second. Something like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a da. And what you're trying to do here is not obviously play every note or aim to play every note. You're aiming to play. You're aiming to actually. What's the word? You don't necessarily have to make it sound. Okay, you're aiming to get your hand in that striking point where it needs to be, on exactly the right quarter note. Okay, so you could be playing really loud, or you could be playing really quietly and not making any sound at all. But if your hands aren't playing on that quarter beat, the quarter beats correctly, this isn't going to be constructive for you. So get that count going. 2, 3, 4, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. You don't even have to make a sound. Just have that tapping going. You don't even need your handpan actually. If you've got that click in your head on your app, you could be commuting, you could be playing anywhere, and you could be tapping. You could even be tapping in your head if you can't use your hands for whatever reason. Okay? Now, why are we doing that? Why are we learning semiquavers again, quarter beat notes? Because while you've got that chord sequence going for this riff, your hands get ready to fill in the gaps with quarter beat notes. You're probably wondering, just teach us how to do it. So I'm sorry, I get carried away. But yeah, we're going to learn. So you're playing the chords, right? And the way to imagine this is that the chords, despite them sustaining and playing for 2 beats long, you need to at this point associate them, associate them as the first quarter note of, say, 4 quarter notes. So if I draw in red at the top here, the rhythm. Now this is a problem now because we need more space to draw the semiquavers. Let me just redraw it here. Okay, so for each chord, which is 2 beats long, you're going to have 8 semiquavers. Because remember, 4 semiquavers, 4 quarter notes in a beat. And let's just assume they're all on the shoulder at the moment, even though you saw that I was playing them all over the handpan. I will get to that. Okay. Now for each beat, you're playing these semiquavers. Okay. Now let's just assume we're going to just do 4. The first chord for now. Okay. If you could do the first chord, which is here, 8 semiquavers, 8 quarter notes, then you can apply it for the same logic for the others later. And that's all that's going on. So let me draw the chord thing and the second note. And I'm going to draw the stems going down this way, just to distinguish them as, you know, the second voice and the first voice. Basically means 2 separate things going on. So, right, that's what's going on. That's at the bottom, and your left hand, or your other hands, sorry, your same hands are playing semiquavers on the top now. So you're supposed to strike that chord and then go straight into playing semiquavers, something like this. Now notice, I play the chord and I go straight into, with my left hand, playing the semiquavers, a series of semiquavers. So the way that works is we remove the first semiquaver. We're not actually playing it. At least not on the shoulder. We're playing it down here. So it should really be something like joined like this, if you know what I mean. Okay? It's not the best way to draw it, but essentially what's going on is you play the chord first, and then your left hand comes in to continue playing the semiquavers. Now I will draw the hand positions. It's left, right, left, right, left, right, left, with the first chord obviously being the right hand. So how do you play that? You count 3, 4, 1 left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Now just practice that with the first chord a few times. And if you're comfortable doing this, left, right, left, right, left. It's fast. Slowly it is this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Where the chord is on beat 1, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Okay. Notice that they're all equal length, and they're all the same volume. Alright, nothing's special here or exclusive. If you're comfortable doing that, change the first chord to the second chord which you've just learnt. So you're doing this, you were just doing this, and now change to the second chord. Okay? And then go back to the first one. And just get comfortable navigating between those 2 chords. without speeding up or slowing down, and get that metronome out. And if you're really comfortable doing that, move on to the third chord, which is the chicken win. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again you go back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what I just did there was I played all 4 chords which we learned, and I implemented the left right, 8 of them for each chord. Okay, replacing the first quarter note with the chord. Now you may find as you speed up that it's actually difficult to stick in that chord while playing your semiquavers, something like, sorry. And there's not much I can do about that other than to tell you to practice and play slowly to begin with before they're speeding up. I mean, contrary to what a lot of people assume, if you start by playing fast, great, maybe you'll be able to get it and you'll be lucky. But when you need to slow down, I take control, mental control over the tempo, depending on the context you're playing in. You can't actually do it because you haven't practiced. You haven't practiced the fundamental, the foundation and that learning process. So don't just learn everything from memory, learn from the structure from the beginning. So in context, right, let's do a little faster than 60 beats per minute, which is 1 beat per second. Let's do something like 80, which is like 1.5 beats per second. So every second and a half, I'm kind of doing a beat here. Ready? 3, 4. Sorry, got to do 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't speed up like I just did. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4. So once you've got that, and obviously you've really gone home with the shoulder slaps there, you can start replacing the shoulder note hits with notes of the actual handpans. So all of a sudden you get something like. And all that I'm doing there, and I'll give you that one example before providing maybe 10 more as practice material. Again, I will just draw the first chord, the ding, the second note, and what I'm doing is I'll do these in green. Yeah, I'm just going 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. Where are we? 6, 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, da da da, da da da, 6, 7. So that's all that's going on, and we're going to bring this here, the first note, right? Dun 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 dun. 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 6, 7. So all it is 1, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 6, 7, right? Again, 1, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 6, 7, change. slowly. And then eventually you'll be able to speed it up to something like. And normally by the time you've got to the end of that bar and you've played the fourth chord, you kind of want to play that top note at the very end. So what you can do is replace this last note with a ninth note. So instead of playing I'll put it up here. Instead of playing it as a 7, you can play it as a 9 instead. Now, I've given you the option here to change. Hopefully you can see that. I will write these as practice material. I've given you the option to change the last note, which is currently a 7, to a 9. But of course, you're more than welcome to change any of the notes as you like, as whatever feels best for you. For example, I normally play all sorts. I go. And that was all just using the top 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 notes of the handpan. After you do that a few times, it can get a little boring, at least for the player. I mean, people will listen to that, fall asleep and love it, meditate. But for the player, it might get boring. For the people even. So what you can do to vary that is you can start incorporating dynamics, which we've definitely covered in a previous tutorial. Dynamics are basically volumes. So you could do the first, if this was a first time round, you could do it as a mezzo forte, which is kind of like, I call it room temperature of dynamics, your volume. There's basically standard volume, whatever's comfortable. You could do one section like that. You could do repeat it again. You can do it as pianissimo, which basically means extra quiet, really quiet in Italian. And then to build up, you might have the third time, forte. I almost wrote fortissimo, but fortissimo is really climactic. It's borderline, hitting too hard on your handpan. But forte is a nice, loud volume dynamic for your handpan. You could do something like that. You play it once. Let's do that. Okay, one mezzo forte, one pianissimo, and one forte. So mezzo forte. Pianissimo. Crescendo. Forte. And there you go. You might actually like to play them twice, to give you enough time to really sell the mood to the listener. One time really isn't enough, especially if you're playing that quickly. And it's all up to you. Before you go into forte, it's best to actually do a crescendo, which is a get louder progressively over time. It's usually denoted as a crocodile, like that, going up. So you get louder as you play, something like. With the dynamics. And if you get really advanced, with obviously playing different notes, different rhythms, dynamics, you can even play with the tempo, and there's various wordings to indicate, where you can, at least in sheet music, where you could be flexible with the tempo. Ad lib, for example, is a perfect example of where the music author has indicated that they want the player to just kind of play in their own time. It doesn't mean that you can just fall back to playing however you like with no kind of awareness of the tempo. It means actually that you're aware of the tempo, but you're deliberately speeding up or slowing down, which might seem more effective for the music you're making. For example, I'm speeding up. So a couple of things which obviously we haven't talked about in this lesson, which I just threw in there, were I played this whole sequence in a dotted rhythm, more swung. It was actually a compound type signature just then. So instead of playing 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 eander, 2 eander, I was going 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, da, 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 da. It's like counting in triplets. And we can cover that in a later riff. I was also implementing some pitch bends or harmonics, which we've also covered in a previous series, but not necessarily as a riff in a separate video like this. So we'll come on to those kind of things later on. If you like this video, like it, let us know what you liked about it, and if we can improve in any way, also let us know. So there you go, that's a basic riff. See you at the next video.